Welcome everybody, my name is Ed Durbis. This is 993 Driving, and today we're talking Acura. The fact that the Acura brand is Honda's luxury division part, which was introduced in 1986 with the car which was the Acura Legend. It came in two variants, a V6L and LS, producing 161 horsepower and 162 pounds of torque. It was the first time a Japanese manufacturer had introduced a luxury car. It took off like hotcakes, and they did really well. And in 1990, they decided to introduce the supercar, which is the Acura NSX, which was a competitor to compete with Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but with the daily driver kind of aspect of a supercar. We had done fantastic, and today they're taking a lot of money in because they're so rare. But let's forward now to the future, and now we have presented ourselves with Acura, which has been a brand that started as a luxury brand and then tried to be a sporty brand, but somehow it got lost in between all the ruffles. So now they're trying to reintroduce themselves. They came out with a brand new Acura NSX back about 5 years ago, which was the pinnacle of electronics. The only other cars you came close to competing with those cars were the Porsche 918. LaFerrari had the technology, but obviously at a cost that was much higher, where the Acura NSX has a price tag of about $190,000 when you do option all the way you would like to do. We go back to what happened in 1986, the Legend, which introduced a luxury brand, the Acura brand. And now that they're trying to reinvent themselves with the Acura, because the NSX did not sell well in the last 5 years. So now Acura's trying to bring a little bit of sports into their cars, introducing A-aspect designs on all the other cars, and now also reintroducing the Acura TLX Type S with more power, which is going to try to compete with the likes of the Audi S5 and the C43 AMGs and the BMW M340 competitions. Now, with that being said, there is one car that is no longer going to continue in a stable, and that is the Legend, or as we have it here, X. Unfortunately, this is the last year that Acura is going to manufacture this car, due to the fact that it has not really been able to compete with the likes of Lexus, Infiniti, BMW, Mercedes, and even now Genesis and Hyundai products. Somehow it got lost, a little bit soft, and I think one of the biggest problems it was with this particular Legends and the RLX is the fact that it was never given a proper V8. It was always a 6-cylinder engine, always has been a 6-cylinder, but what the consumer wants in this price market, at this price segment, should I say, is they want something that is rear-wheel drive and it's got a V8. Even today we're heading toward electric and hybrid. The consumer still wants that big V8. You still see those in the BMW, Mercedes, Genesis. They all have V8 engines, which is, I think, one of the drawbacks is that's caused this car to be discontinued all around. So with that being said, it is a great product, but it just doesn't fit anymore and what the customer is looking for. Now let's get this show on the road and let's see what this Acura has, and if is it going to come close to its competitors, or are we going to miss it, or is it time for it to say goodbye and head on its way, as we'll say. Okay, so with that being said, let's get the show. Okay, now we're inside the Acura, and let's see exactly, just to touch base, and we'll go into more detail in a minute. Everything inside is top-notch quality. It truly is. The stitching is great. The materials feel good. It's got a nice thick steering wheel. All the buttons seem right at reach. The display, it's perfectly fine. It's analog. It's easy to read. It's really nice cabin. One thing that I haven't mentioned so far is that this car has 4-wheel steering. So let's see how that feels. Is there any sporty to it, or is it just a big luxury car that is what it's supposed to be? Is Acura doing the right decision by getting rid of their flagship sedan and just betting on the TLX being the top-end four-door for them? They are investing a lot of money in their SUVs. They did invest a lot of money in the new Acura NSX that came out 5 years ago, as I explained earlier. Now, is it worth saying that, you know, it's a farewell and to see this Acura go? Their flagship, the RLX. Well, let's get the show on their own. Let's see. All right, off we go. First, right off the bat, you can tell the smoothness of it. There's no huff puff, there's no radical noises from the exhaust or anything like that. It's not as quiet if you'd want it to be, like a Lexus, I would say, but it's still pretty quiet. Car is extremely smooth, quiet. Just taking that small turn, you could feel the four-wheel steering. You can feel the wheels in the back coming around. Very smooth. There's no drama whatsoever. This would be the perfect car to drive home after a late night. You just want to be able to get home quietly, peacefully, no drama. Smooth, right through. There's a little bit of feedback coming back from suspension. Steering wise, is at that luxury level where there's a little bit of play, feedback. There's not a lot of feedback coming back from the steering wheel, but for the most part, it's like I said, this is what it is. It's a luxury big sedan, so it's not making any excuses for trying to be anything other than a luxury sedan in this case. And it's a pretty good large size. The back seats have a lot of room, leg room, head room, hip room. It's abundance. Power is adequate. It's no rocket, but the power delivery is smooth. Transmission, there's no issue with transmission, even though it has paddle shifters, which I would say that 99% of people who purchase this car will never use the paddle shifts, because there's really no purpose whatsoever. This is not going down a country road, carving the curves. It's just about getting to your next location in comfort, smooth, quietness. For somebody who's looking for a little bit edgier car, then I would say, go with an M product BMW or an AMG product or Audi S8. This is really truly just about no drama. Just get me there comfortably, peacefully, quiet. So my impressions overall, it's exactly what it's meant to be. It's a luxury car, smooth, quiet. It feels refined. The four-wheel steering works perfectly well in parking lots or when you're trying to make a U-turn. The power that it generates, it's enough power that it serves its purpose. I mean, it's not a car that you want to take into a canyons or a country road, but it's more of a car that you want to relax, enjoy, get to your destination comfortably. All the materials, as I said, are great quality stitching. Everything's at your control. Just to go back with what I said earlier. But overall, it's a good car, and it's too bad that Acura wasn't able to really use the original Legend and run with it, and they weren't able to do it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it was never offered as just a rear-wheel drive with a big V8 at front, which is what the customers always wanted. The people who purchased the car, I would have to say, is the ones who came from a top-of-the-line Honda Accord, or used to having or top-of-the-line Camry, and they wanted to get into a luxury brand. And what better way to do it than to do it with the Acura brand, where you know that you'll have the reliability, you won't have the big issues of maintenance that you would with the other competitor, especially coming from the Germans. With that being said, though, the car does have a small imperfection, and that would be its four-wheel steering. It does require a little maintenance. It is a little bit high, but if you look at it overall, it's something you can live with. It's not gonna kill the piggy bank like you would if you had to repair something in a German car. If a German car had four-wheel steering, then you'd be out of serious money. But in this case, you can manage it and you can tolerate it. It's sad that it's a farewell, and the Legend or the RLX is going to be heading out of stables. But let's hope that with the new Acuras coming out, especially new Type S, we'll get a little more excitement into the brand that I think ultimately can be an exciting brand. It can be an exotic, fun car like the NSX. And let's just hope that they continue this trend of trying to bring us sporty cars so the brand can continue and it can attract other customers, especially maybe younger ones who want to get into a sporty car but also don't want to get into a maintenance headache. So there it is. There's the Acura RLX, or as I like to call it, the Acura Legend. It's sad to see it go, but obviously it did not live up to or be able to compete with its competitors, which was the biggest flaw of it. But if you're looking for something that is super comfortable, it'll get you there from A to B with no drama, this is the perfect luxury car for you. The unfortunate thing is that it was never offered in rear-wheel drive or V8 configuration like all its other competitors, which I think is what actually was cost the RLX to be discontinued going forward. I know that Acura's now focusing more on bringing more performance cars. Every variant of their lineup has an A-Aspect edition, which is a sportier version of their luxury car. And with the new Type S coming out from a TLX, and it shares a lot of components from the Acura NSX, especially the braking power. We'll see how they do. I think they're heading in the right direction. I hope they found themselves and realized that they're not just a luxury brand, but also that they bring cars that excite people. And that's really where they got lost. And now that they're trying to bring it back, let's hope they bring it back in an environment that's very competitive. And let's see how they succeed going forward. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your support. Please subscribe down, share the video, hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to me. Once again, 993 driving, Ed Durbus. I'll catch everybody in the next video, and have a fantastic day.